Hey guys, welcome back. So last time we were able to register a user. So we can come here, add some user information, and then we can post and send, and then you can see the user is created and we get a 201. Okay. So now we want to be able to log in this user. So the way we're going to do that is we need to log them in, like authenticate with Django, and also give them an access token. Okay. So they can use that access token after logging in to access other endpoints like creating a to-do item and all that stuff. Okay, so here we have the register API view. Now we need to create the login API view. So I'm going to go here and create a class. So this is going to be login API view. So we also are going to have to inherit from generic API view. And here we need to handle the post request, because when a user sends data to a server, they are making a post request. So here we are going to have to handle a post, so dev post, so self and request. So here we're going to be handling the authentication. Now I'm going to come over here and import some few utilities. So from django.contrib.auth import, so we want authenticate. Okay, so over here then we are going to try to get their username and password. So actually we are going to need to get their email and password. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say email. So email is going to be request. So we can get the user data from request.data. Okay. So we're going to do request.data.get email like this. And then let's also get the password. So we can just do the same thing for the password. Now, when a user doesn't send these keys, get will throw a key error. So for us, what we want to do now is do none here. Let's also do a none here. Okay. So now that we have this, we need to authenticate this user from these credentials. So here we're going to do user. So we're going to do user equals, we're going to use authenticate. So authenticate. So with authenticate, we can pass the request. Also, we can pass the credentials. So right now we are not really authenticating a request at all. So we can pass the username and the email. So for the username, we're going to do username equals, then the username here is going to be the email, because we are, remember our username field is the email. So that's what we want to pass here. So also we can pass the password. So we're going to do password equals this password. Okay. So you can check if we have the user. So basically if user, then what we want to do is we want to log them in and send them a token. Now, for us to be able to author JWT tokens, let me do a pass here. We're going to need to have to install PyJWT, which is a module that enables us to work with authoring JWT tokens, decoding them, encoding them, all those kind of things. So I'm going to stop the server here and install it. I'm going to do pip install PyJWT. So now that we have PyJWT installed, I can run back my server, and then we can go to our models. So remember we have a property on the user model. So here we would want to be able to just say, for this user, give us a token. So when we say for this user, give us a token, it should be able to come to our models and run this function here and return us a token. So what we're going to do is we're going to import PyJWT. Actually import it as JWT like this. Also, I'm going to import settings, because when we are encoding tokens, we are going to need to use a secret key. So here we can import, actually we're going to do from Django.conf import settings. So here in this class property, what we can do is we can now create a token here. So we're going to say token, it's going to be equal to JWT. So with JWT, we can call encode. So when we say encode, we want to encode some information so that we can get a token. Okay. So this special information, or this information which you're seeing as payload here, can be called a payload or claims. So I'm going to put an object here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put there a username. We're going to do username. So the username here is going to be self.username. So the username that's currently being used for this class. So also I'm going to put there the email. So you can guess the email. It's gonna also be self. So email, it's gonna be self.email. So also we can put there like how long we want this token to be valid for. So we can have their EXP, which stands for like expiry time. So then I'm going to import date time here so we can construct how long a token should last. So from date time, import date time. Okay. All right. So for the expiration date, we can now do date time. Then we can call UTC now, which will give us the current user's time. So then we want to add there some X amount of time, how long we want our token to be varied. So we're going to be using the time delta helper, and then here we can specify settings or even hours. So I'm going to specify hour for now. So hours, this can be 24. Okay. So normally what you want to do is you want to make sure that your access token is short-lived, and then you want to have a way to create a refresh token which is long-lived. That means that your access token can be live for something like 15 minutes, and then you can always use a refresh token to refresh it. But for now, let's set it to this so we don't have to keep logging in again in our API. Okay, so now that we have this, we actually need to import time delta. I believe time delta is also here. Okay, so let's see. So first we pass the payload, which is what we are passing. Then the second thing we pass is the secret key. So we're going to be using our application secret key to encode this token. So I'm going to do settings.secret key. Then the other thing is going to be the algorithm we want to use to sign this token. Now, the difference between these algorithms here mainly is about speed, like how long it takes to break the encryption. Now, we're going to be using HS256. Okay, so let's make sure we have things set up properly. So settings with secret key. Okay, we need to end this here. Okay, like this, and step this one down. All right, so now this means that we can be able to do token.token. And down here, let's return that token we just created. So that means that if we do token, it's going to return this token that we get by doing JWT encode. Now we're going to go to the serializers for the registration, and we're also going to set up a serializer for the login. So here we're going to have a class login serializer. So also we can inherit from this, no problem. Let's do that. So in here, we're also going to need to validate the password the way we did. So I'm actually going to copy this section over here because it's going to be similar. Then the password is okay. So this helps us to get some validations up front on the front end. Then we want the email and the password and also the token. So I'm also going to have token here, okay, because the token now is a property that exists on the user. So yeah, so let's do this. We only want the user to be sending the email and then the password. So if we wanted to have, let's say, a read-only field, we would actually specify something like this here. But you can also have a property here called read-only fields. So read-only fields. And then this can also be a list. So we want to have token as read-only because the token is going to be served by application and we don't want to make a user send it to a server. Okay, so when we make that one read-only, it's okay. And things look good to me. So over here in the views, whenever we authenticate a user, we want to send now a response back to the user. So here we can say serializer equals, actually here let's have serializer class. It's going to be login serializer. We need to import it. All right. So serializer equals self serializer class. Then we need to pass the data if we wanted to. So here the data we want to pass is the user because that's the one we want to pass to our serializer, and the serializer can use this user to give us the things we need. Specifically the things like the token and also match the incoming data. So when we do this, now we can return serializer.data. So we can return response.response. Then this is going to be serializer.data. Then for the status code, this is going to be a 200. So we can do status equals status.200. Okay. Okay. So otherwise, if we don't have a user, that means the authentication failed. So I'm going to duplicate this. So when we don't have a user, we're going to be sending serializer. Actually, we're going to be sending just a message. So here, I'm going to have a message. Then I'll just say invalid credentials, try again. Okay. Then the status code, when the authentication failed, we can send a 401. So we can say 401. All right. Not gone, but unauthorized. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to add it to our URLs. So the application can pick it up. So we can now come over here and say login. This is gonna be login API view like this. Then here we can give it a name. Okay, put a comma because it's a list. Now, if you come back over here and now try to log in this user, try to log in, you can see that now our user is created. You can see, and we get the token. Okay, so if you wanted to add other fields like the username in the response, you can just come over here and add them in the fields. Let's add a username. All right, and now if we try to submit, actually it doesn't even need to be here. If we try to log in, you can see that now it is sent to us. All right. Okay, good. And then we have our JWT token, and now we can use this to pretty much access the protected endpoints. Okay, so that's gonna do it for this video. By the way, let's try to sign in a user that doesn't exist. Okay, so you see we get 401 unauthorized and we get invalid credentials. Please try again. Okay, so that's gonna do it for this video. In the next one, we're gonna be setting up a JWT authentication scheme to use in our application. So thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I will talk to you soon.